Hi, and welcome to Making Retirement Possible, a guide to getting on track to your financial independence. My name is Richie, and I'll be your host for these series of episodes. And these episodes will include introduction, which is this episode right now, maxing out your savings and 401k contributions, limiting and removing debt, where to retire, available free software for retirement planning, and keeping a small footprint. And then there's taking some retirement test runs. Now, I believe the most important step in retirement is contributing to your 401k or your retirement plans. And if you were able to do this at a young age, you've got a big leg up on the rest of the field. Allowing that money and those years to work for you is just simply crucial. If I had done it a little better, I probably wouldn't have had to become so laser focused at my retirement at 50. But that's not to say that it can't be corrected or that wonderful things can be done in the last 10 years of your retirement. So if you start at 50 and you all of a sudden really start putting in a lot of focus and assets and resources into retirement, you can make amazing things happen. And that's what this is all about here. I'd like to share a little story, a funny little thing that happened that I recall. When I was about 23 or 24, when I had started working in the corporate world, I was working for an engineering company, and a buddy and myself started at the same time, and we were working together. And there was an older guy who was kind of a supervisor or lead for us. And he, if I had to recall, I'd say he was about my age now. I think he was in his 50s. He might have been older. But he had this wisdom that he wanted to share with us, and I really appreciate it now, although we just kind of took it with a grain of salt. But he took us aside, and I can remember he walked us out to some windows and had a little bit of privacy, and we were standing there, and he was telling us, this 401k thing, you don't understand it, and you don't really need to, but just trust me on this. You need to put into it, and if you do put into it, you're going to be much happier when you're my age. That's basically what he was trying to share with us. And at that age, you don't even have retirement in mind. It's just not, you're not programmed at that age to do that. So I think we believed him, but we kind of scoffed it off because we were so young and we had so many years to fix anything that became a problem from there to retirement. And, I really wish that I had taken his advice a little bit better. But when you're in your 20s and you're working and making some money, you want something to show for it. You don't want to lose that money to this mystical fund that's in the future that you're not even thinking about. You want nice cars, you want nice clothes, you want to go out and have fun, you want to buy a house. It's just 20-year-old people are just not programmed to think that way. And so one thing that I've done is I've instilled this in my daughter and my kids, and the same thing, she doesn't understand, she's not concerned about it, but she listened to me, and we got her set up on an IRA, and she's contributing out of every paycheck. So the good thing is, if she continues to do that, she will never have to be in a position where she has to worry or work later than she plans on. So let's dive right into 401k contributions and catching up. Age 50. A few years back, I wrote an article for LinkedIn called No More Screwing Around, 401k at age 50 and catching up. And basically it says it all. It's like, you've had your time to contribute, and now it's time to get serious. And so what I did is I went in here and this is a summary, this webpage, of what I've been discussing earlier in this video. But what I did is I took and I graphed a couple scenarios based on a hypothetical rate of returns, and just assuming you had 10 years and you had nothing, you'd never contributed to your 401k, and you had nothing. If you take 10 years and you, based on this and a 3%, if you max out your 401k and you get a company match. Then, and I use my numbers. I think back at the time there was 19,000 was the max if you were under 50, and there was an additional 6,000 if you were 50 or over. So I think now it's a little bit more. I think it's 6,500. So I think you can put in about 24,500. But if you put that in, company match, and you give yourself 10 years, within that first 10 years, you've got $428,000. So at 60 years old, you've got $428,000. That's significant. Now, 3% is a miserable rate of return. But what I also did is I took and I ran the same chart, the same graph on 8% down below. So looking at the same numbers, the same contributions, the same 10 years, you started out with nothing at 8%, you're going to do the same, contribute, company match, and down here at the bottom, you've got almost $600,000 in 10 years. So this is really amazing. Things can happen to your retirement once you get focused, and that's why for me at 50 it had to happen, because 10 years you can do quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to this article, and I'd like you to read this, take a look at it, see what you think, start getting your mindset, and then I'm going to follow up with this video very shortly, and we're going to, what was the next step? The next step was, I believe, cleaning up debt. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you soon.